Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you'd like to see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Basketball, and it's episode number 60, the big 6-0. And we are heading into a new season, the 2037-2038 season, and we are all the way up to Conference G now. So we are approaching, we are up to the 7th tier. We're approaching that top level, getting oh so close. And meanwhile, we're also getting oh so close on the competitive front, where we can see it's probably the best starting lineup that I think I've ever had. I think this is the first time where I've had everyone at 3.5 stars or better, with Chris Monroe at 4. So just fantastic quality here. It's really good potential here in Shannon Robinson still, but every year I seem to see that drop off just a little bit, as I don't quite have the coaching staff yet, because we don't have the prestige to hire better coaches that can really coach up the potential of players. But we are getting closer on that I'm just starting with such good recruits that it's not that hard to get them into a pretty good status. So 3.5 stars or better for everyone in the starting 5, and the next 2 players are both at 3 stars, so we are looking quite deep this season. On the recruiting front, before we jump into our first game here, I have 2 commits already, including my top guy, Bob Johnson, the center, ranked number 26 in the nation overall in A. You can see he's a really good scorer. He's really good with the ball despite being a center, and he is going to score well inside. Likewise, he is good on defense, a very good defender, excellent rebounder and shot blocker, as well as he's going to force a lot of turnovers. Athleticism's a little bit low, so he'll get whatever kind of minutes he can, but he'll be very dominant in those minutes, and also an excellent GPA at 3.7. Likewise, we have signed Kane Fuller, another good one. He is seen as a C overall, but I'm not entirely convinced by that. But he is pretty good, and a 4.0. So 2 very good student athletes. I do have 6 scholarships coming up for this coming season, and my short list has actually gotten quite short at this point in time. I have a number of offers out at the moment, but we are through that first phase of recruiting for the year, so I will not be able to do any additional recruiting until the postseason, and I am nearly done getting information from the guys that I have left, but it looks like I will need to kind of go on the search again and see what else I can find outside of center and small forward. And with 6 scholarships available, what I'm essentially looking to do is get 1 player at every single position and then save that other scholarship for next year. I will not be too hard pressed though about power forward, as I have 2 excellent freshmen this year, and one of them is redshirting. The other one is straight into that top 7. All right, so we're going to get the season opened up. We are outside of the top 25, and we actually have a really tough matchup with another team just outside of the top 25 in Utah to open the season. Prestige-wise, Utah is somewhere right around top 25 or top 30, and it'll be a challenging game. Fortunately for us, we are at home here to take on Utah. Here's my starting lineup. So Milton, who was 6th man last year, has moved into the shooting guard position, and Jason Lewis has moved into center. Otherwise, we have 3 starters returning from last year. And as we're just at the start of the season, we're going to try to move pretty quickly through this game. I plan to keep it at that 10 speed here for a while. We got off to that quick 6-0 start, and we continue it on here at a 13-4 there about 7 minutes into the first half. And we've got a decent amount of momentum built up at a 14-point lead halfway through the half. So looking real good. Chris Monroe off to a good start with 10 points on 3 of 6 shooting. +9 on rebounds here early on, +4 on turnovers, and they are shooting just 23% from the field. That is the stifling D that I have. That's really going to shut teams down even better than a year ago. And as we approach halftime, we have doubled them up. It's 42-20. 48% shooting ourselves. We've doubled the rebounds on them. It's now 28-14. Still +4 on turnovers, so 50% from the field, and they still can't even crack 30%. So we should be cruising to victory. Monroe's got 24 points, 9 of 13 shooting. Oh my goodness, 27. This could be a new record score at this rate, if we get him back out there anyway. Lewis has 10 and 12, so he's in double-double status at the moment. Here we go. Monroe back on the court with 5 minutes left to play. Still sitting on 27 points. 68-45 is the score. There's 29 now. 1 point away from 30. Lead has shrunk a little bit to 20, but we are coming up. There you go. 31 points for Chris Monroe. 12 of 18 shooting. Oh, yeah. I like it. Brian Steele had 10 points as well. Shannon Robinson came on. The freshman came in, true freshman, 4 points at 4 fouls in his first game. So he was aggressive. I like that. But and had a couple blocks. Steele had 4 blocks as well. But 74-54, the final to open the season. Yes, it was a home game. And yes, they closed things down a little bit at the end. But I think that could have been... we might have been relaxed there in the final minutes of that game as the lead shrunk a little bit, but that was a near 30-point win before it became a 20-point win. And let's go ahead and sim right through the rest of the week. We have Citadel up first, or up next, another home game. Got high hopes for this season that this could be kind of the first time that we are comfortably inside the top 25. And I actually think we're probably not going to be that far away from it, just from the look of the team. We do go to 2-0. Next up is Northeast Boston. We're going to have, if I remember from looking at the schedule earlier, we're going to have a few home games to open the season, and then we will have a road stretch. And it'll be a combination of pretty winnable games and a couple more challenging games. Monroe's gaudy numbers from the first game have balanced out already just after that second game, as scoring came a bit more widespread there. Okay, we've got our letter of intent on Fuller and Johnson, so that's good. They are committing to the school. And let's see, Detroit is Conference Q, Northern Colorado is Conference R. Both of those teams at 1-1 to open their season. Those will be coming up quite soon here on the calendar. And let's go ahead and get into recruiting. I still have one guy here that I am trying to finish off on unlocking information. Oh, the assistant coach got one of them. We're down to just facilities now. I had 2 remaining, and there you go. That's everything now. Academics and location matter. Alaska, well, we're not that far away from Alaska, and he's not going to have very many choices when it comes to Alaska. But I do have some offers out, so we'll keep those going. But meanwhile, I'm going to start taking a look at other options. But for now... I'll look into that next week or so. We're going to go ahead and watch film on all of these guys, just to get an updated look. at their attributes. And Bennett, there you go. A list of 10 with 6 scholarships, 5 being offered out right now. So that is a small list we're working from for sure. All right, back into the calendar. And we'll push through the next week here. So apparently the Citadel win was nothing to write home about. So our RPI is actually quite low even after injured player. Injured player! I don't like the sounds of that. 65-45 against Northeast Boston. Starting 5. Wonderful. Right around a plus 20 average. Actually, exactly a plus 20 average between them. Monroe had only 9 points. Yikes. Steele had 10. We got Lewis with 10 rebounds, but only 8 points, so no double-double on the day, but it looks like he's going to grab a lot of double-doubles. Steele fouled out of the game. Big halftime lead. Led the entire game. So that was comfortable. However, losing a player to injury could be important. Okay, so it's our freshman, Shannon Robinson, with a broken toe. He's all the way down to 12%, and it's 39 days, meaning he busted it bad. So that is going to hurt. It's not a starting player, but I have high hopes for Shannon Robinson. He is one of those 2 big power forward recruits we brought in from last year with the other one. Besides Shannon, the other Robinson, they're both Robinsons, unrelated. The other Robinson is redshirting, so. Okay, well, next up is South Florida. It's going to be a little bit tougher now without Robinson to back us up. Luckily, it's the non-conference schedule he's going to miss out on. He'll be back right around the 1st of January. Perfect at home, 3-0 so far. This is our first road game of the year. At South Florida, who's 1-3, they are in a higher division. So certainly not an automatic win, and any road game, you've heard me say this so many times if you've watched the series throughout, road games are always a challenge. But we do get the win, so we go to 4-0. This is a tougher game in Northern Colorado, who's having a better season, but they are at a much lower division, so I still give us a better than 50% chance on this one. That's going to be early into next week, it looks like.
You have new mail.
All right, well, our early evaluation after just 4 games is our defense is leading the way. So number 7 in the nation. We're holding teams to just 9.5 assists per game, which is 2nd in the nation. And our steals is at 13th. So we're doing quite good there. And then offensively, most of our numbers are inside the top 100 as well, including 9 blocks per game, which is 4th in the nation. And we're protecting the ball quite well as likewise. So Monroe, his numbers settled down a lot, but he's still getting 16 points per game, more 5.5 assists. Lewis, first-year starter, at 10.8 rebounds per game, 3.3 blocks, and then Milton on 1.3 steals. Lewis, let's take a look at him for a second. Lewis is a redshirt sophomore. His GPA also is a little bit low, so is Swift, but Swift's a senior, so I'm not too worried about him. Lewis, this would be a good opportunity to actually put in a call. So this is 3.5 stars out of a 5-star potential. You can see he's getting right about 7 points per game, but the rebounds are better than 10 a game. And I don't think I've ever had a player who was 10 rebounds per game. Let's go ahead and give him a call. We are going to deal with his academics and get him a tutor for 1 month. Yes, I know that means you're going to miss a little bit of practice time, but this will help keep you eligible to play. Okay, now onto the recruiting front. We've got our updated look at the 10. And Fuller is back to a B on his evaluation, which is where he had been, so that's good. Not the greatest defender, but you can also see from the choices that I have left, there's not a ton of great defenders. I had quite a few players inside the top 100, but they signed up pretty quick with other schools. I got 2 guys, and that's decent, but there were a lot that went by without being able to get them. So we're going to take off the you're watching. We're going to take off center. We're going to take off small forward. And I'm not looking so much for power forward, so I'm going to start with just guards. And we're going to select West. There's guys that I've already taken a look at. Well, no, some of those were at camp. So we're going to have to go through this the hard way. Wait. I can filter this. Signed. There we go. Okay. Okay, so GPA just 1.8. Smith is already on our list, I believe. Yes, he is. Actually, I have a scholarship offer here for Jim Smith. And academics, location, I've got a good chance on him, but we are not inside his top 10 right now, as he was added in after we had a chance to go for a visit. So he won't be the easiest, but let's get Jason Gordon added to the list, who's moved up in the rankings a lot. Okay, Wesley Wright. I think I have information because he was at the basketball camp. Alright, that gets us down to 334. I'll go ahead and stop there, and then we'll go back into who we're watching. Okay, so Jim Smith, we're already on it. Nate Neely, we're already on it. Okay, here's a new guy. So we're going to watch film and then put in a call. Okay, here's another new one. Watch film, put in the call. And apparently we're just going to go through this routine. Finally somebody decides to answer. Okay, so that's Mitch Daniels. And we'll watch film on these other guys as well. Granger, let's see. Was there anybody past Granger? I don't think so. Okay, so I added 10 to the list. That's a nice even number. I like that. All right, back to the calendar. We're going to push on through this next week here. Northern Colorado on the road. Remember, we are now playing without Shannon Robinson, so we've got a bit less depth than before. RPI still not being helped. We had some easy games there. We do get the win, go to 5-0. Another road game here. Detroit 2-2. Much lower conference. It is a road game though, and they are 3-2, so they're having themselves a decent season. Heading into a new month. So quick autosave here. Five and 1. Okay, there's first loss of the season. We've got Hamilton up next. Two and 1 on the road so far. A win would certainly be a bold statement if we were to get that and go to 3-1 on the road, because I don't think I've ever been quite that good on the road before.
You have new mail.
We tend to go 500 or worse, much worse on the road, while being near perfect at home. Hamilton, Conference P. Portland State is Conference T. Louisville coming up. Yes, that Louisville. No, it's not Louis, it's Louisville. I should know. I was stationed at Fort Knox, very, very nearby, and spent plenty of time in Louisville. Let's see, Hamilton. Hamilton is Conference P. Okay. It's certainly winnable. Let's see what happened here recruiting-wise. Plenty of new faces. One of these new guys, Brown, is an awful defender, so he's coming straight off the list. I also did not look terribly close at GPA, and these guys need to come off the list. Granger. Daniels. There's a reason why they haven't been recruited, huh? John Johnson, 2.4. You're probably not going to qualify, so let's take you off the list. There we go, 2.6 and above should be good. Run an update. Look at that defense again. There's one guy with a D. Runyon. Oregon native. Might be from Cove, Oregon, but I need guys who are going to be decent or better at D. That's what's really starting to make that difference for us now. Alright, well, the list just shrunk way back down. But it is bigger than before, so we'll work with it. Break through these guys and get their information. So we've got some more options when it comes time late in the season. Location, Arizona. Academics is fairly high. Facilities is decent, so he's recruitable. Okay, that's all the time. We don't need to scout again this week, but we certainly will eventually. Alright, now back to the game. The calendar. Hamilton up next. Hamilton certainly beatable. It's amazing how high our RPI jumped despite going 1-1, but when you've got a bunch of road games, it gets better. So we got the win there, 6-1 now. Next up is Portland State. They are just 1-5. However, as is always the case with Portland State, it is our rival. So, as bad as they are, this game is as losable as any road game is. We always beat them at home. but on the road tends to be about 50-50. Meaning we tend to beat them about 3 out of every 4 years, so they still pull off that rivalry win from time to time. It's going to be next week before we play, though.
You have new mail.
Without any signature wins, our 6-1 record at the moment not doing us any justice here towards the top 25. Let's put in our time. Let's go with call list. I think next week I'll go ahead and watch film again on these guys, but not this week. Okay, we just got through to Gordon. Yeah, I've got through everything. Nice. I thought I got parent info. Apparently not. Maybe he wasn't paying attention during that part. Alright, well, we're getting there. We're down to just a couple guys to break through on. Alright, we're still without Shannon Robinson. Let's check in on that, though. He's still at 12%, so he's not practicing or anything like that. It's still going to be 20 days, so half the time has gone by until we get him back. Guaranteed we do miss his production, as he is 7th on the depth chart, so he's just 2 spots outside of the starting 5. At least I think that's where he's at. Okay, we got the win against Portland State. Next up is Louisville, and it's a road game. It is this week, so it should be coming up here one more day away. Let's try to stop Sim. Let's watch that game. That's a big game. Caribbean Challenge. Okay, so that's what this is. West New Orleans and Minnesota are also playing. We'll see. Let's head back if we're gonna do this game. The next one, Conference I, Jacksonville State, but they're 1-4. But they're in the division we just left behind. I don't remember if we played them last year or not. They might have been relegated. So Moore is the better point guard. Monroe, our best player, is outmatched by Galavastov, the senior. And wow, look at that. 4 seniors in the starting lineup, all upperclassmen. And their best player is their center, the junior. We do have the better bench. This could be tough. This could be a tough game, and I think they're going to have the advantage. But Caribbean Challenge, now this will technically be neutral site, or should be. So that does give us a decent chance here. So we'll go ahead and watch this game. This would move us up the RPI a lot if we could beat Louisville. Yeah, see, tournament game. Oh, nice. Specialized court. As we're still in non-conference schedule and these games don't matter so much, we'll push pretty quick. We get our first bucket 3.5 minutes into the game. Amazingly, it was only 1-0 at that point. We do have a nice lead. small lead. 17-11 at one point there. 19-16 at the moment. A lot more scoring than before. As Louisville takes the lead, they go on a little bit of a run. But didn't really build much momentum. So 26-26. Rebounds, -1. Turnovers, +3. Field goal percentage, actually our defense isn't dominating there as they're at 60%. 5 of 13 for threes for us. So we are really opting for those outside shots. It's 40-36 with 10 seconds to go in the half. 42-36 is the halftime score. Moore's got 9 points and 6 assists already. Monroe's got 11 on 4 of 7 shooting. Steele has 6 and 8. And we have a 9-point lead here with 14 minutes to play. And we continue to build a little bit more momentum, but they just took a timeout. 10 minutes to play, 56-43. Rebounds were minus a little bit, but we are +6 on turnovers. The field goal percentage has swayed our direction. The free throws is very much their edge, though. But we have 11-point lead with 4 to play. I'm going to go ahead and use a timeout here. Oh, I ended up using 2. That's okay. 66-61. 1 minute to play. Let's slow down for the final minute here. 68-64. 70-64, 28 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 70-67, the final. We got the win. Nicely done. Mason had 26 points for them. Golovastov had 14. Monroe was held to 13. He did not shoot the ball terribly well, but he had an okay day. Looks like Lewis played through foul trouble. 4 fouls, so he didn't actually have a great stat line, but double-double from Brian Steele. Moore had a really nice day with 14 points and 8 assists, but he also, all of our outside shooters did not shoot the ball very well at all, so 44% from the field overall for the game. It looks like our bench might have stepped up in that department. -5 on rebounds, +5 turnovers. Shooting very, very similar between the two teams. They got to the line more than double the amount we did, but we had almost as many made three-pointers as they had attempts, and that seems to be the difference. So the turnovers and the three-pointers got us through that game. That's gonna be a pretty big win for us in terms of the RPI and Caribbean Challenge. We get the winner from yesterday, Minnesota. Minnesota 78-60 over West New Orleans, so we've got another game today. I will go ahead and sim this one, but before we do, let's at least see the scouting report. Minnesota's all the way up into Conference C and has a nice solid 7-2 record, so this is a tough game. They have advantages in the post. We have the bench advantage. We'll sim just this day. So 8-1. Will we split this tournament, or are we gonna squeeze off? Oh, we won it. We won that little mini tournament. So the Caribbean Challenge was all us, and we jumped to 9-1, and that has got to be a big boost to the RPI. It is. We jumped to 75, so we went up about 100 places, and yet that wasn't the last game, as now we have to take on the number 6 team in the land, Indiana, who are 8-2, and yowzer. It is neutral site. I like that game coming up a little bit better. Conference A, Indiana. The Hoosiers are going to be a horribly tough matchup for us, and you see how much better they are. I'm pushing into that terrain where I can kind of take teams in the bottom half of the top 25 and win those games. Top half, though, is still a bit beyond us. I got to tell you, though, this is maybe the first time that I've seen Notre Dame at the edge of the top 10 in the whole history of this game. Guaranteed they are top 4 season in, season out, regardless of their record. I think they are a bit OP for this game. more. The only one with equal along with Lewis. Otherwise, we are outmatched pretty heavily in this game. Based on time... we can... Yes. We can watch that game. It's okay. But we'll put some calls in. Oh, did I get... Okay, I've got everything I need there. Here's the one. We're missing parent info. Alright, so it looks like we got some help from our assistant coach on this one because his academics were unlocked and nothing else. So I think Wright might have been cracked by the assistant coach for a change, which is nice. I appreciate that he's getting a little bit better. Okay, Killian, we're making some progress. We're up to number 10 on his list, so through our contact with him, we've got some progression. Makes me happy. We're down to the last couple guys. Abram's the only one that we don't have at least partial. And let's go back and bring this up. Johnson I've already got because he is coming to play for us. Same with Fuller. Levy's the last guy. There's only 2 more to go. So other than the 2 that have signed with me, there's 12 that we're going after. So we ended up taking 4 out of that group, out of those 10 that we had picked. I would imagine Shannon Robinson's still not playing at this point, as he's still about 2 weeks away from coming back. It's only been maybe a week from where we checked on him last. Alright, so top 10 opponent in the game today in Indiana. And they get the quick start, but we are level at 8. Not very many rebounds early on, as both teams are shooting the ball pretty well. We're within 2 points and level at 16. So they aren't running away from us, at least not early in this game. And we've actually got a decent little lead at 21, 24-16, 27-16. Great run there as we picked up, we rattled off about, like an 11-0 run, something like that. Rebounds +6, turnovers -4. That's the first I've seen of that this year. We've got them down to 36% shooting, so the defense really stepping up. They are just 2 of 10 from the free throw line. But at the half, the score's about level. We've only had 4 free throw attempts for the entire game, and 5 of 19 beyond the arc. If we shoot the ball a little bit better, as both teams are below 40%, we could certainly get somewhere with this one. Monroe's got 14, but he's only on 5 of 15 shooting. 2-point game with 10 to play. Let's try to kill that momentum a little bit. Oh, it didn't work. I tried to take a timeout. I thought it did. There we go. 60-47. So now we're trailing with just 3 minutes to play. And it's a bad time to be down by 11 points. Milton, 6 points, 8 boards. Lewis is 8 and 7. Minute and a half to play. Take that full time out. We're missing our shots here. More missed coming out of the timeout. They got the ball. Time's nearly up. Oh, of course. They steal the inbounds play to end the game, so we didn't even get the ball back. Final score is 63-49, so we do go down to the number 6 team in the nation. Rebounding was pretty good. Turnovers was pretty close, but we shot 20 of 60 from the field. they really weren't much better, 23 of 61, but free throw wise, they 250% more attempts than we had, and beyond the arc, just 6 of 25. So we didn't get the job done in the places we needed to, and you could see these stat lines on the field goal is where we really, really suffered. Monroe, yes, 6 of 17, but that's not good either. And that's Kobe Bryant kind of numbers right there. Just throw the ball up and pray it goes in, and every once in a while it does, and you look good because you get 17, 20 points a night, but it's because you just keep throwing it up over and over again and missing most of the time. But a lot of guys, 1 of 4, 1 of 4, 1 of 6, 2 of 7, and you could see why we were not able to come away with the win. Kept it close until the last few minutes, actually. So, in that sense, we're close. We're not far away from that top 10 group, but we're definitely still not with that top 10 group, and I think that's why I've started getting more consistently into the Sweet 16, but can't crack the Elite 8. We've got another game. This is our 4th game in 4 days coming out of that tournament. That's painful. It is a home game, but I'm actually kind of nervous. Got the win. 10-2 so far. Virginia Commonwealth coming up. Alright, taking a quick look at the schedule. We still have... Okay, 1 game left here, non-conference. So we're playing 13 this year thanks to the Caribbean Challenge. And getting to the championship game, even though we lost it. So let's go ahead and finish this one out here. Get to the new year. I won't worry about the recruiting at the moment. Nothing urgent's going to happen here now. So we should be getting Shannon Robinson back, so that's certainly going to help the team, make us even stronger. And then we're going to move into the conference schedule, where we'll have some easier opponents than what we've had here of late. After we had 3 really tough opponents in the Caribbean Challenge, and we got 2 of them. So 2-1 against 3 elite teams. Plus the Louisville game right before that. So 3-1. Oh, no. 2-2. That was our 2 losses. Oh, man. Short memory. I've already... Yeah, no, the loss was to Detroit. Oh, Louisville was in the tournament. Okay. So, yeah, 2-1 against 3 elite teams. And 8-1 against everybody else. With Virginia Commonwealth still coming, but at home, and 2-8. This is very close to the very close to the easiest game we're going to have all season. So like I said, I wanted to just finish this one out so we can go ahead and wrap this episode up. In the next episode, we are going to obviously go through the back half of the season, the conference schedule, and then into tournament play. And we're going to do so with an 11-2 record. So that is a really, really good start to the season with 11 wins. And most of that missing Shannon Robinson. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here in just a moment, but let's check on Shannon Robinson and see how he's doing before calling it a day.
You have new mail. You have new mail.
It's going to take just a second, though, with the changeover to the new year as we push into the 2038 portion of the season. RPI is now all the way up to 46th. Not too far away from the rankings. And if we start rolling through the conference, I could definitely see us ranked here within 3 or 4 weeks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the roster and the injuries, and he is back. So Shannon Robinson is now back, the true freshman, 2-star power forward, but 5-star potential. Just 1.9 points per game, but he has barely played up until now. The game logs. And yeah, so he has not played. He played, it looks like they got him in for 5 minutes against Minnesota. With all those games in a row, guys retired. So apparently he came out and played 5 minutes, but otherwise he has not played since getting injured against Hamilton. And before that, really, it's only Utah and Citadel where he got decent minutes and put up a little bit in terms of numbers. So it'll be nice to get him out there and playing, 6-8 minutes per game. And setting himself up for an excellent future. Alright, well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. And look how much better we are than the rest of the conference in terms of records. Let's see, Southern Illinois, Indiana State, both on 8 wins. That's it. Everybody else 6 or fewer. Alright, well, be sure to hit that like button, and we'll check in with you again later in the week as we're going to get a double episode this week. Bye for now.